Have you ever felt that your energy is draining, that simple everyday tasks have started to become challenges, and that your body no longer seems to respond as it used to? For many, this feeling emerges gradually, almost imperceptibly, until one day we realize that something has changed. Movements that were once automatic now require effort. Getting out of bed is no longer so easy, and the constant feeling of fatigue becomes part of the routine. But what if I told you that this is not just a sign of aging, but rather something that can be prevented and even reversed? The loss of muscle strength is one of the main factors that limits independence and quality of life as we age. And what few people know is that this weakness has a name: sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle mass and function. Studies show that approximately 25% of people over 70 suffer from this condition, increasing the risk of falls, fractures, and even difficulties in daily activities. But here is the good news. It is possible to combat this loss of strength and regain vitality even at advanced ages. Today, you will learn the inspiring story of Mrs. Helena, a 94-year-old woman who was on the verge of losing her autonomy, but who found a way to reverse this situation and transform her life. With simple habits and subtle changes in her routine, she managed to regain her strength, restore her energy, and, most importantly, live independently once again. What happened to her can serve as inspiration for you or someone you love. But before we continue, I want you to comment your age and where you are watching this video from. This helps us better understand who is with us on this journey and allows us to bring content that is increasingly relevant to you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to receive valuable information that can transform your health and quality of life. Now, returning to Mrs. Helena's story. For years, she was an active woman. She enjoyed tending to her garden, preparing her favorite recipes, and walking every morning. She had always been energetic and full of life, but over time, she began to notice small changes. Fatigue appeared more frequently. Lifting simple objects required effort, and climbing a step seemed like an impossible task. What she once did easily began to become a challenge. The first sign that something was wrong was when she tried to get up from her armchair and felt her legs fail her. A simple movement that she always performed without difficulty became an obstacle. Gradually, she began to avoid walking long distances, stopped doing some activities, and started feeling increasingly limited. Her daughter noticed the change and decided to take her to the doctor. After a detailed evaluation, the diagnosis came: advanced sarcopenia. The doctor explained that over the years, the production of proteins essential for the maintenance of muscle mass decreases, resulting in a loss of strength and mobility. But there was hope. With the right stimuli, this process could be reversed. Mrs. Helena knew that she did not want to spend the rest of her life confined to a chair or dependent on others. So, she decided to follow a simple yet powerful plan to regain her strength and independence. She began with an unexpected technique that helped reactivate her dormant muscles. The first change was to incorporate dry brushing massage into her daily routine. The idea seemed simple. Use a natural bristle brush to massage dry skin, always with gentle strokes toward the heart. Initially, it seemed like just a self-care ritual, but she quickly noticed the benefits. This method helped activate her blood circulation, promoting the flow of nutrients and oxygen to her muscles, as well as stimulating the lymphatic system and reducing swelling. As a result, her muscles began to respond. What seemed like a simple gesture was, in fact, the first step to awaken a body that had grown unaccustomed to movement. In the first few days, the sensation was different. But gradually she noticed that her legs felt less heavy and her muscle stiffness was diminishing. The simple act of getting out of bed became less difficult. This practice not only activated her muscles, but also strengthened her confidence that she could still regain her autonomy. Studies show that dry exfoliation increases blood circulation by up to 25%, improves muscle oxygenation, and helps eliminate toxins that can contribute to muscle weakness. In addition, the simple touch and tactile stimulation help reactivate neuromuscular connections, especially in the elderly. But Mrs. Helena's journey did not stop there. She knew that, besides stimulating her body externally, she also needed to strengthen it from the inside out. It was then that her granddaughter, a nutrition student, shared a recipe that transformed her recovery: a fortifying broth. This ancestral recipe was rich in collagen, essential minerals such as calcium and magnesium, and amino acids that aid in muscle regeneration. The broth was prepared slowly, allowing all the nutrients to be extracted from the bones and absorbed by the body effectively. She followed a simple recipe, using 1 kg of beef or chicken bones, preferably with cartilage, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to help extract the minerals from the bones, a piece of fresh ginger, garlic and onion to taste, herbs such as rosemary and parsley for flavor, enough water to cover all the ingredients. Everything was cooked slowly for 12 hours, ensuring that all the nutrients were extracted. The result was a broth rich in properties that helped rebuild weakened muscles. In the first few days, she noticed a slight improvement in her disposition. But over time, something surprising happened. Her muscle weakness began to diminish, her joint pain was reduced, and her energy started flowing again. Small activities that once seemed impossible became easier. Scientific studies show that the collagen present in bone broth helps with muscle regeneration and joint health, while minerals such as magnesium and calcium are essential for muscle contraction and the maintenance of strength. Additionally, ingredients like ginger and garlic have anti-inflammatory properties, which accelerate recovery and reduce muscle pain. For Mrs. Helena, this broth became more than just a simple meal. It represented a rebirth, an essential step in the recovery of her vitality. But her transformation was not yet complete. One last ingredient was missing to boost her regeneration: deep breathing. Mrs. Helena realized that even with improvements in her energy and muscle strength, there was still something preventing her from feeling completely recovered. She woke up tired, felt that her muscles were not regenerating properly, and sometimes, even after a lighter day, fatigue returned. It was then that, during a medical consultation, she discovered something surprising. The way we breathe can directly impact muscle recovery. The doctor explained that over the years, many people begin to breathe more shallowly, reducing the amount of oxygen that reaches the muscles. This impairs muscle regeneration, as the tissues need oxygen to rebuild themselves efficiently. To reverse this situation, Mrs. Helena would need to learn a simple yet extremely powerful technique: controlled deep breathing. She began practicing the 4-7-8 breathing technique every day, right upon waking up and before going to sleep. This technique consisted of 3 steps. Inhale deeply through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 8 seconds. In addition, she maintained an upright posture during the exercise, allowing her lungs to fully expand. This practice lasted only 10 minutes a day, but the results were impressive. In the first few days, Mrs. Helena already noticed a significant change. Her morning fatigue diminished, and her muscles began to recover more quickly after small activities. She started sleeping better, woke up more refreshed, and felt that her breathing became deeper and more controlled throughout the day. Studies show that deep breathing increases tissue oxygenation, accelerates muscle regeneration, and reduces fatigue. In addition, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting relaxation and improving sleep quality, an essential factor for muscle recovery. For Mrs. Helena, conscious breathing was not just a technique, but a reconnection with her own body, helping her restore her energy and vitality. Now that her circulation was activated, her diet strengthened, and her breathing adjusted, Mrs. Helena knew it was time to take the next step. Her body needed a physical stimulus to fully regain muscle strength, but she couldn't start with intense exercises. She needed something safe that respected her pace while effectively reactivating her muscles. That was when she discovered the power of stick exercises, a simple yet extremely efficient technique, especially for the elderly who need to regain muscle strength without the risk of injury. This practice consisted of using a stick to assist in movements, helping to improve body alignment, posture, and stability. At first, Mrs. Helena started with light exercises, holding the stick with both hands and slowly lifting it in front of her body to shoulder height. This simple movement activated the muscles in her arms and shoulders, preparing her body for more challenging exercises. Then, she added trunk rotations with the stick resting on her shoulders, strengthening her spine and improving mobility. Finally, she began using the stick as support to perform small squats, strengthening her legs and hips. In the beginning, the movements were slow and required a lot of concentration, but over time, her muscles responded and her posture became firmer. The simple act of getting up from a chair, which once seemed like a huge challenge, was now done with ease. Her walks became more stable and secure, and she began to regain the confidence to move on her own. Research indicates that stick exercises are highly effective in activating stabilizing muscles, improving balance, and increasing muscle strength. In addition, the stick provides safety during movement, reducing the risk of falls or injuries. For Mrs. Helena, this small object became a symbol of her recovery, allowing her to feel strong and independent again. But there was one last aspect she still needed to improve. Her diet had to be adjusted to provide the right nutrients for her muscles. It was then that, with the help of her granddaughter, who is a nutritionist, she made simple yet extremely powerful changes to her diet. Mrs. Helena began consuming foods rich in antioxidants and high-quality proteins, essential for muscle regeneration and the prevention of sarcopenia. Her diet now included quinoa, rich in complete proteins and essential amino acids, helping in muscle reconstruction; berries, strawberry, blackberry, and blueberry, powerful antioxidants that combat oxidative stress and protect muscles against degradation; pumpkin and chia seeds, rich sources of magnesium and omega-3, fundamental for muscle function and reducing inflammation; spinach and kale, full of iron and vitamin K, which aid in muscle oxygenation and bone health; chickpeas, an excellent source of plant protein and fiber, helping to keep energy levels stable throughout the day. With this new diet, Mrs. Helena noticed a considerable improvement in her energy, disposition, and muscle strength. Her muscles began to respond even more to the exercises, and the feeling of weakness progressively diminished. Studies demonstrate that diets rich in antioxidants and high-quality proteins help with muscle regeneration and the prevention of sarcopenia. These foods not only strengthen the muscles, but also improve joint health, the immune system, and even the skin. For Mrs. Helena, nutrition was not just a matter of sustenance, but an essential tool for her recovery and quality of life. Even with all these positive changes, she felt that something was missing to feel fully connected to her body. It was then that she discovered an unexpected habit that made all the difference: walking barefoot on the grass. At first, it seemed like just an insignificant detail, but her granddaughter explained that walking barefoot on natural surfaces strengthens the muscles in the feet and legs, improves balance, and activates nerve endings that are usually dormant due to constant use of shoes. Curious, Mrs. Helena decided to give it a try. She started slowly, taking small barefoot steps in her home garden. At first, she felt a slight discomfort, but soon she noticed something incredible. Her feet became firmer, her balance improved, and she felt more secure when walking. Each different texture, the grass, the soil, even the sand, offered a new stimulus for her muscles, helping to strengthen her stability and connection with her body. Research shows that walking barefoot improves circulation, reduces the risk of falls, and activates muscles that are not normally used when wearing shoes. Furthermore, this practice brings emotional benefits, reducing stress and increasing the feeling of well-being. For Mrs. Helena, walking barefoot was more than just a simple exercise. It was a reconnection with her own strength and vitality. Today, Mrs. Helena is no longer the woman who feared losing her independence. At 94 years old, she has regained her muscle strength, her autonomy, and her zest for life. What once seemed impossible, getting up effortlessly, walking safely, and even tending to her garden, is now part of her daily routine. But the most important thing was not just the muscles she strengthened, but the self-confidence she regained. Each simple habit, from dry brushing massage to walking barefoot, was a step toward a more active, healthy, and fulfilling life. If Mrs. Helena's story teaches us anything, it is that it is never too late to regain strength and independence. Small changes in your routine, when done consistently, can completely transform a person's life. And perhaps you or someone you love may be going through the same situation. Many people believe that the loss of muscle strength is inevitable with age, but the truth is that our body responds to the stimuli we provide. When we neglect our muscles, they weaken. But when we stimulate them in the right way, even if we are already in old age, they can regain their strength and vitality. The methods Mrs. Helena used were not complicated, expensive, or inaccessible. They were simple yet extremely powerful habits. Dry brushing massage to activate circulation and wake up dormant muscles. Fortifying broth rich in collagen and essential minerals for muscle reconstruction. Deep breathing to increase tissue oxygenation and accelerate regeneration. Stick exercises to strengthen the muscles in a safe and gradual manner. An antioxidant diet to provide the right nutrients to maintain strength and vitality. Walking barefoot to improve balance and stimulate stabilizing muscles. Each of these steps can be incorporated into anyone's daily life, regardless of age or physical condition. The secret lies in consistency. Small daily efforts accumulate into great results over time. Now, we want to know from you, have you ever felt that your muscle strength is decreasing? Or do you know someone who could benefit from these practices? Leave a comment below and share your experience. If you liked this content and believe that it can help others, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here, we bring valuable information to improve your health and well-being, ensuring a better quality of life for you and those you love. And if you know someone who might be facing the same challenge that Mrs. Helena encountered, share this video. Together, we can help more people rediscover their strength and autonomy. Remember, it is never too late to start. The first step to regaining your strength begins now.